Hi, this is Phil again at the Laptop Trader channel. Welcome back to our community. I'm here to share my experience and give back to the stock community one video at a time. My contact is laptoptraderphil@gmail.com. Caution, most stock traders lose money. Please protect yourself at all times. Nothing discussed in this video is trading or investing advice. This channel is for information purposes only. Please seek help if you need help investing. I want to do a quick video for you guys as my loyal subscribers using and analyzing information on stocks, specifically as it pertains to earnings. In this short video, I'm going to use different information sources to get a picture of PayPal stock, symbol PYPL. I chose this one because it has earnings tomorrow on Tuesday, 4/30/24, and should help you to sort through the noise and opinions in media and form your own. Remember, earnings is the most watched event for a company. Good luck, and thanks for sharing and subscribing. Let's just take a look at this information source here, Bar Chart Premier. We go to the summary page, we can see the overall trend and stages of PayPal over the last 5 years, right? So if we go back and try to learn from what I taught you, I think it's pretty clear we can see we are currently in stage one, okay? And other information we get from the summary page of PayPal is price earnings ratios, most recent earnings, next earnings date, basic fundamentals of the company, basic description of the company, and PayPal related ETFs, options information, and analyst estimates. So this is showing the earnings estimates for the upcoming quarter. And if you want to, you can click on that to see more about that. We also have PayPal related stocks, or stocks that they compare them to, and how they're performing over the last 3 months. So that's it for that basic summary. We can also look, if we click on this menu tab, you can see to the side other tabs. If we go to earnings estimates, we can see that we even have analyst price targets in here. We've got earnings events, what those were, and you can see here on that highlights that, highlights earnings of that date. So this just looks at earnings surprises, if there was any. This graph is kind of helpful. It shows reported and estimated earnings, and we can see both of those lines are starting to point up for PayPal. That's good news for them. Again, this shows average estimates. And we get some other key statistics, different ratios, PE, price to earnings forward, annual income, stuff like that. So just you take this information and then we can compare it to either other companies, other markets, or other sources too. So let's now look at what we can get just from a quick search on Google. So PayPal, overview. If you click on that tab, it'll give you a price chart overview, and you can click on different time periods for that. This shows different news releases there, different basic market metrics here. If you click on this, you can get more information about PayPal. It also has like a basic financials tab, showing the current stock price, different financials, what they did for the last 4 quarters as far as earnings per share and revenue. So they beat revenue 4 out of 4 quarters, and they beat earnings per share 3 out of the last 4. So remember, earnings is the report card, and then there's also what's called forward guidance or forward expectations. And so, let me see if it shows that here. I don't see that here. If we go to Under this tab, this does show a forward guidance of current quarter to be released tomorrow. They're expecting 92 cents, okay? At least on this site. Now on this, there's an asterisk. Earnings numbers reflect diluted earnings per share. So this is going to be a little bit different number than some of these other sites too. Like this one at Seeking Alpha is going to show, you can look at the summary page. It's just laid out different where it shows the chart, the performance over that period. So over a 1 year period, they lost 7%. Over the 5 year period, they lost almost 40%. So that's pretty interesting chart there. They've got different earnings per share metrics, and if you click on that, it highlights what that means. This site uses different grades and ratings as far as A through F, and whether they would recommend buy, sell, or hold. Okay. You can also see under all the news and opinions, seasonality chart, the Seeking Alpha versus Wall Street comparison, what bulls say, what bears say, company profile. I kind of like this graph of revenue. It shows increase in revenue in general. And we also have an earnings per share graph, which shows the actual and reported there. So, and there's other tabs in here too, like you can get more on earnings, more on estimates. What else do we have? If we click on earnings, this earnings tab here, I like this page too. It's very helpful because it shows the last quarter's performance versus the upcoming expectation. So we've got the report card versus the upcoming expectation. Now they're using a normalized estimate. And if you click on that, that says what that is, and then a gap estimate. So bar chart was somewhere in between there. I think it was 96 cents. So I'm not sure exactly where bar chart is, or why they're doing it that way, but this one is showing a gap estimate of 78 cents per share and the normalized estimate of $1.22. Okay. And let's see what else we can see. Okay, nothing else to see on that tab. One other thing I liked about Seeking Alpha, and I like different things about these different sites. So these sites have their pluses and minuses, and so does Google. But I really like this charting tab because this quickly shows how PayPal has performed over any period of time versus our benchmark, the S&P 500. And if we want to, we can even add symbols. So let's just add QQQ, which was the NASDAQ ETF, which measures basically the overall NASDAQ index. So we can see over this 1 year period, PayPal is severely underperformed. They lost almost 8.5% in price, whereas the S&P 500 has went up 25.75%, and the NASDAQ has went up over 38% in the same period of time. That's really severe underperformance for PayPal. And it's probably even worse over the 5 year period. Yeah, it really is. PayPal's down 40% over a 5 year period. The S&P 500 is up over 73%. And the NASDAQ is up over 126% over the same period of time. So I would encourage you guys to plug in stocks into that specific chart because I think that's very telling when it comes to performance. Now let's go and kill this notification. And let's go look at one more information provider. This is TradingView. They also have some very nice features on their site. So they got a real nice search feature. I wanted to show this guy to you guys. Different sites have different types of stock screeners. This one is very easy to use. Initially, you can see where we have over 13,800 stocks. Well, that's too many for most people to sort through. So, but we can go here quickly and sort by market cap. And I'll just pick large caps and above. Quickly, that cuts down over 1,900 stocks. If I just type in something like PE, or click on the PE tab, and we go to something like reasonable, okay, that narrows it down to 452 symbols, okay? And you can use other metrics in here to further narrow down your search. So I find that very helpful on TradingView. Thank you, TradingView. Let's look at PayPal now on the same site. Again, we can get an overview of PayPal holdings today. We get a basic chart. You can use line or a shaded line, or you can use candlesticks here. It's up to you. Right now, it's just on a shaded line chart. That's a 1-day chart. Let's go to maybe a 1-year chart. So you can see over 1 year how PayPal has performed in chart form. Again, this site is showing next reported date tomorrow, an estimate of $1.22, and a revenue estimate of $7.5 billion. Okay, so there's other stats here on PayPal. I also find this chart very helpful. It shows revenue versus net income and net margins. Net margins are closely related also to a stock's performance and to earnings per share. And I like that we can see net margins came up, net margins came down. Now net margins are increasing again. So I think that is good news for PayPal. One of the things I also like about this site is this little chart. We've got debt versus free cash flow and cash. We can see in 2019, they had less debt, more cash. We can see recently we have more debt, about the same free cash flow, and more cash. So I don't know why that is, but it seems like they're operating off of more debt. And I think that's a negative for PayPal, in my opinion. Let's look at another area of the site quickly. And this is just showing, a basic chart of PayPal over a period of time. And this is showing a weekly chart, okay? This is going back to May of 2018. And so we can clearly see the trend on this weekly chart of stage 1, stage 2, the plateau of stage 3, and then stage 4. But what I really like about this chart and what you can do on TradingView is on the bottom, you can enter a separate chart of diluted earnings per share. And we can see it's very interesting. So back here at this period of time, they earned 44 cents per share. And then as time went on, the earnings kind of went sideways, right? Maybe increased a little bit, but then they kind of came down. And then when the earnings exploded, see that? The price exploded. So that earnings was the catalyst for this price move. And then as earnings declined, the stock plateaued. And as there was a further decline, there was further price decline. Very interesting thing about this chart is recently earnings came up, the price did not move up that much. And since that period of time, it went sideways. And prices went sideways. So we'll see. I think it'll be very interesting for you guys to watch this stock over the next day or week and see how PayPal, as an exercise, as some homework, reacts to tomorrow's earnings event. And I think that'll be very interesting to watch, maybe educational for the members of this channel. Finally, I put together one more slide for you guys of something that I do. I do this not only to review stocks that have had earnings, but to review my trades that I've taken. So I'll do a pre-trade snapshot, and maybe I'll highlight with the marker on a screenshot where I entered that trade and where I exited the trade, and then I'll give myself a trade review using Paint Online or some other program where I can mark up my charts, right? But this is just showing during the peak of PayPal, we had $1.15 earnings per share, and PayPal's stock price was over 300 bucks. So then it came back down to earth. And now in the stage one, we have generally increasing earnings, but we don't have increasing prices. The other interesting fact I found was that we do have higher year-over-year earnings per share, especially when you compare the current estimate coming out tomorrow of $1.22 versus $1.17. So that's a slight increase year-over-year. We also had last quarter earnings per share of $1.48 versus $1.24. So again, year-over-year increases in earnings per share should propel the stock higher. One negative I see on this is we have, if this is correct, if this comes in correct at $1.22, we're then going to have a quarter that's lower in earnings quarter over quarter. So we had $1.30, $1.48 last quarter, and now if we have $1.22, that will be a decrease of earnings quarter over quarter. So I think that could be a negative for PayPal. So I see some positives for PayPal. I see some negatives. And we'll just have to see, wait, and watch and see how this stock plays out. Remember, Wall Street's the main thing that Wall Street looks for around earnings and any other financial information on a company is Wall Street's favorite word, which is growth. So if growth slows down, growth retards, that's a big deal. If growth accelerates, that's also a big deal on Wall Street. So I'm going to end this video here, you guys. I thank you for watching, and I will see you next month. Take care, and thank you. Bye.